afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the session on your priority queues. What we have been discussing from the previous session. So, in this particular video, we are going to continue the previous topic or whatever the previous discussion we do have. That we are going to continue in this particular session. Now, so let's go ahead. So in the priority queues, we have already discussed what exactly we mean by priority key here. So every element what we are going to insert into this particular array or your linked list, we people are going to give a priority to that particular element. And based upon that particular priority, we will be performing the operation. Means whichever element has to be deleted from the particular queue is based upon the priority whatever is given to that particular thing. Means what it means to say here is the higher priority process whichever is there, that will be processed first. And in case if both, if the two different processes are having the same priority, then we are going to use something called as first come first serve technique. And as in the previous session, in the previous video, we already discussed that FCFS is one of the technique which has been actually used by our operating system, isn't it? So how it is doing is whenever two process, generally we have taken an example and using that example, we have already discussed it. Let me show you the next slide. That's an example. So we have taken an example of your operating system where there are three processes which are willing to perform the operations here. So we have three processes P1, P2 and P3, and all the three processes have some time, burst time. What do you mean by burst time? I said here is nothing but the amount of time it requires to perform the operation is what we call it as burst time. For example, if you take P1, P1 requires 5 nanoseconds, means it can complete this process. P1 is going to perform some kind of task. So what it is saying is that it will be able to execute within 5 nanoseconds. If you take the next process, that is P2, P2 is whenever is entering into the system, it is saying that it requires only 4 nanoseconds to complete the task. Then we have something called as P3. So P3 will be performing something called as 7 nanoseconds. Now based upon this particular time, what we are going to do is we will give priorities to these particular processes. So how we are going to give it? We will determine which one is taking less amount of time, and that particular process will be allocated first. So if you see here, process P2 can complete the task in 4 nanoseconds. So definitely I'll be giving a priority. The operating system will be giving a priority as 1. Means 1 is represented. So remember, the lower number represents higher priority. The higher number represents a lower priority. Remember in that way. Something like a ranking system in your exams and all. So roll number means whoever has stood first. What means she is the one who got more marks when compared to others. So high priority. Like that, you people can assume it. So in these three processes, P2 can complete the task in 4 nanoseconds. So that will be allocated the time. Okay, so now, sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, so next what we have here is something called as process P1 and process P3. Which one is having less time, that we will be first determining it. So if you see here, process P1 can complete the task in 5 nanoseconds and the process P3 can complete in 7. Which one is having less amount of time requires? Obviously P2. So this will be given the priority as 2. So we'll be giving a second priority here in this particular case. And finally, the last element what we have, we will be giving the priority as 3. So when we are executing the processes here, the first P2 will be given the chance to execute and complete the task in 4 nanoseconds. Once he has completed the task, then we will be giving the CPU to the process P1 to complete the task because it is having less time compared to the P3. And finally, when both have completed, we are left only with P3. P3 will be allocated the CPU and he can take 7 nanoseconds of time in order to complete the particular task. So this is the way how exactly these priority queues are actually implemented in our operating system. Mostly it is used in operating system. And this is one of the factor also in order to determine the priority. So means whichever is having less time, that will be allocated first. So that is one kind of factor. Another factor what we discussed here, importance of one process over another, means depending upon the work done by that particular process. So we have seen this in the previous video. If you have any doubts with respect to this, you people can just watch that particular videos. Okay. Now we then went for implementation purpose here. So when we talked about implementation, we said that there are two ways of doing it. First one is based upon sorted list. We will can either sort the list to store the elements. Okay. So what is saying is whenever you are taking an array, I mean, sorry, whenever you have an array here, so when you're inserting the elements into this particular elements into this particular array, he's asking you to insert those particular elements based upon a sorted list. Okay, so that the one which is present in the location 0 will have highest priority. The one which is present in index number 1 will have the next highest priority. Then the one which you people are storing in index number 2 will have next highest priority. So whichever the element you are going to store in this particular location will have very high priority. And whenever you want to perform means delete a particular element, you can directly select this and you can delete from the front. Okay, so this is your front and this is your right. So you can directly delete the element from this particular front location, and that particular process or that particular element will be processed here and perform at the operation. That is what he means to say. The second option what is taking here is nothing but he is asking you to use unsorted list. See, please consider this. This is a sorted list. This is an unsorted list. So when you people are performing unsorted list here, the insertions will be done in the end of the list. The insertions will be done at the end of a particular list. So here what it means to say that you are not going to consider any kind of sorting and all. Whichever is element is coming, you'll simply keep on adding to this particular array. And then we will, whenever we want to delete an element, then definitely you have to search this particular array, whichever element is having highest priority, that you have to select, and then finally you have to delete it. So that will definitely, it will take time. So that is what we have discussed in the previous session. So these all things we have already discussed, and we have also discussed about something called as time complexity and related to this. So whenever you're using a sorted list, you'll have order of n time to insert it and order of 1 time to delete an element. So this, and if you're taking an unsorted list, it will take order of 1 time to insert, order of n time to delete it. So elaborately we have discussed in the previous session. You people just can watch that particular video, and based on that, so I want to concentrate on representation here. This is a linked list representation. So every linked list representation, we know that we will be having a node, and within that node, we'll be storing two different blocks. So what are the two different blocks we do have here? This is a node. So this is what we call it as a data node, and this is what we call it as a address node, right? It will consist of address of the next node, whichever is present. So generally represented as star next. So here in this case, when you're representing priority queues, rather than having two blocks, you'll be having three different blocks. The first block will consist of a data block. The second block will consist of something called as priority. And the third block will consist of address block. Address means this is the address for the next block. Okay, so means this block and this in between you are having one more here, one more block, and this block will consist of priority. That is what has been explained here in this particular scenario. So these are the three things he's talking about. The information is nothing but the data block. The priority number will be stored. So that is what we are calling it as a priority block. And then we have the address block, address of a next node, whichever we are having. So this is a normal representation to that. So if you see here, A, B, C, D, E, and F, these are the elements. These are the elements we are using, or we can also call it as a data block. And this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you're seeing, this is what we are calling it as priority. These are the priorities that are associated with this particular elements, that is A, B, C, D. So as I told you, one is a smaller number, but that will have a highest priority. Second, 2 means this is the next higher priority number. 3 means the next highest priority number. So before 3, you're having two priority numbers. So whenever you want to delete it, first you will be deleting this particular node. Once this is done, then this will be deleted, then this, and then this. This is the whole process we are going to use. And save a insertion. So here today, the program which we are going to deal here, that will be, I will be explaining there with respect to this particular linked list. Okay. So using linked list only, I'm going to explain the program. So you just concentrate when we are explaining it. So the next way how we can represent here, So this is something like insertion and deletion. This already we have discussed in the previous session. So while during explaining the program, I will explain this insertion and deletion process once again. Okay, so I'm not going to waste time. I'll go ahead. Now this is an array representation which I wanted to use. So here I'm going to represent priority queues using arrays. Okay, so I think you people know about arrays, how to represent a particular array and all. So here you people please concentrate much because this is something critical. Here priority queues can be represented using arrays, same like the linked list. But only thing here is what he's saying is that every priority number will have a separate queue. For example, the priority is one. Means this is the one which has the highest priority. This will have a entire queue, and that queue will consist of some set of numbers. You people can add some set of elements. So whichever element you people are coming, let us suppose you're getting an element 10 and the priority of that element is 1, then that will be inserted here. Then if you're getting another element 20, okay, let me write it, priority 1. So here when you are representing using arrays here, what he's saying is that based upon the priority, every priority number will have a separate queue. So for example, priority 2 will have a separate queue. Okay, if you take priority, let us suppose I'm taking 4 priorities here, 1 2 3 4. So priority 3 will be having a separate independent queue. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and if you take priority 4, so 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, every priority will have its own individual queue. This is Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. And whenever you people are getting a data element based upon the priority assigned to that particular element, that will be stored in the queue. For example, first I got number 10 and 10 is having a priority 1. I will be dumping it into this priority queue, which is assigned with 1. Then I got a element, next element what I have here is 20. So 20 I'm going to, in the 20, let us suppose the priority I'm giving is 3. So where I'm going to store that? So priority number 3. Wherever priority number is represented, there I'm going to store this particular data. Let us suppose another element you take it, let us suppose 50, and the priority of this element is 2. Then where I'm going to store that? I'm going to store it into this particular location. After that, again, I got another number 40 and I'm giving the priority as 1. So where we are going to store this means wherever the queue is representing with priority equal to 1, there I'm going to store that particular data. Okay, so then I'm going to store that particular data. So this is the way how we actually represent queues in when we are representing priority queues using arrays. Now the thing is, what he's saying is, now how to represent in a program is a typical thing. How to represent these independent queues in a program is what he's saying is typical thing. Now if you see here, let us suppose if I'm joining them, please understand this. This is what I want you people to understand. If I am joining this all boxes like this, can you see this? This becomes something like a, okay, let me write it here. I am going to join them. So how many boxes? 4 boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6. What I did is individual queues which I am having, I have made it in this particular. So if you see this, doesn't it looks like a matrix? Isn't it? Doesn't it look like a matrix here? Now, whatever the priorities we have here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm writing it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what about the indexes here? So indexes, if for example, let us suppose index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll be representing here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in the above example, you might be saying this that 1 and 1. So here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here don't get confused. For your understanding sake, what it did is he simply eliminated 0. He started these particular columns from 1 rather than starting from 0. He started the columns from 1. That is what the difference. That's it. Like for example, if you are using a for loop, you will not be starting from 0. You will start from 1. That is the only thing he is talking about here. Okay. That you keep in mind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many elements I can add here? 6 elements I can store. So whenever I'm getting an element 10, which is having a priority 1, so where I'm going to store wherever the empty space is there within this particular priority 1. Since no elements are present here, I'll store in the first position. So this is a priority. This is what we are representing priority. And this is what we are representing the elements what we can store. How many elements we can store here? 6 elements we can store. That is what I'm representing. Now, if I want to represent this matrix, I think you people are familiar now. You might have got an idea how to represent arrays, isn't it? So based upon this matrix, can you tell, okay, so how you people are going to represent a matrix in a particular programming point of view? So we will be using something called as two-dimensional array. We are going to use something called as two-dimensional array, where this is I and this is your J. I represent the priority, J represent the number of elements what we can store it. And based on that, we are going to do it up. I hope you people are getting it. Okay. So if you understand this, then I will explain the previous one. So this is a matrix represent. This is the way we are representing. So we are going to use two-dimensional array to represent this particular format, where I will be representing the priorities here. How many priorities we have? 4. So you will be using something like a for loop for I equal to 1, I less than equal to 4, I plus plus. And when you're representing here, you will be using for j equal to how many elements I can store? 6 elements. So j equal to 1, j less than equal to 6, j plus plus. And then based on that, you people can insert the values whichever you would like to have, depending upon. This is what I just wanted to show you, the for loop representation. Now here, when we are representing using two-dimensional arrays, we'll be given one table. This is the table. Okay, this is the table, you please keep in mind, which consists of front and rear. I think if you're familiar with this pointer variables, front means we'll be deleting an element from the front. Rear means we'll be inserting the elements that we know. Now every table means whenever you're representing priority queues using arrays, remember one thing, you will be given a table like this which consists of the information related to that. Now I'm giving the priorities here. So if you see here, this is a matrix representation. This one you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4. How many priorities I'm taking here? 5. 4 priorities. And if you say how many elements I can store for each individual priority here, 5 elements I can store. So this is a matrix. This is a matrix of what we can say is 4 by 5, isn't it? So 4 rows now, 4 rows, 4 by 5 matrix. So 4 rows, 5 column matrix. So columns will be used for representing or storing the elements, and rows will be used for representing the priorities. Remember that. Now here, if you see here, front and rear, front is starting at location 3. Rear is, this is a table. This table we need to maintain when we are writing a program. So front will be having value 3 here. Rear is equal to, means what is saying, front equal to rear equal to 3 means it is pointing at this particular position. That is nothing but this one. This is for the priority 1. This is for priority 2, 3 and 4. So for priority 1, so remember every individual priority will have its own front value and rear value, because those are nothing but independent queues, right? Like this we have represented. So this will have a front here. This will have a rear, front, rear, front and rear. Remember that. So that's the thing what we are explaining here. So if you see the first one, first priority, what is the front here? 3. Rear is equal to 3. Front rear equal to 3 means it is pointing at position 3. And there I wanted to insert the elements, alphabets in the order based upon this particular table. So first what is saying, initially front and rear are pointing at one particular point called as 3. So that is here. So I am inserting a value in this particular location. Then after that, if in between, if suppose the rear is equal to 4, then I can add 2 elements here. Remember that. If rear I am representing here as 4. So means there are 2 elements I can insert. So A, and in the fourth position I can add B. But right now what is exactly showing here? Front and rear are pointing at only one particular position. What is the position we have here? 3. You can see here, this is 3 and this is 3. That's why we are storing the only one element we can store here. Now we will go to the second priority. Second priority, the front is pointing at 1 and rear is pointing at 3. Have you seen this? Front is actually pointing at 1, rear at 3. What does that mean? That we can add 3 elements into this, right from front to rear. So what we are doing is simply we are adding the elements here. So B, C, D. So see here, rear is present here. Rear is present at which location? 3. So there we have to stop. And front is pointing at 1. So here it is. Okay. This is the way how we exactly write it up. Then after that, you'll go to the third priority here. So third priority, what happens? Front is at 4 and rear it has 5. So how many elements we can add? 2 elements. So front is at for priority 3. This is a priority. Priority 3. Front is at 4 and rear it has 5. So definitely 2 elements I can add. So E and F. Okay. And after that, you'll come to the fourth priority here. The front is pointing at number 4. That means here. Front is here. Rear is here. 1. What does that mean? We are implementing circular queue. So after H, again, our rear will be present here, but he is representing rear here in the sense these elements are empty, these spaces are empty here. So after you reach the maximum value, you will be making it as 0 and you will be inserting the elements. That is what we are doing exactly here. So front is here, rear is here. So after E and F, we are going to insert G, H, and finally I. Okay, still there are spaces available here. See, there are 4 spaces are available for priority 1. And right now the front and rear are at this position. For 2, if you consider here, if you consider for 2 here, 4th and 5th slots are empty. What does that mean? Front is located here, rear is here. So you can add 2 more elements in the second priority queue. When you coming to the third priority, how many slots are present? So last 2 are front. So front is present here, rear is present in the maximum space. So if you want to insert the element, first you have to make rear equal to 0. Then only you can add. So how many elements we can add? 3 elements we can add it. Coming to fourth one here. So how many spaces? Already front is here, rear is here. You can add 2 more spaces. There are 2 more empty spaces available where you people can insert the values. Now let us suppose I want to insert the value here. I just wanted to insert the value. So what happens here is, so front of K and rear of K, this is nothing but these values is talking about. K is nothing but the priority here. So front of 1 is equal to how much? 3. What does 1 here? Priority. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your priority. So front of 1 equal to means this one. First priority is 3. And rear of 1 is equal to how much? 3. Means rear is also for the priority 1 is pointing at 3. Same way if you write it as something like front of 2 equal to 1. But what does that mean? The second priority, the front is pointing at number 1. Front of 2, sorry, front of 2, yeah, priority is equal to 3, means the second priority queue, the front is pointing at the position 3. This is the way how you people have to remember. Okay, so let us suppose I'm writing one more time with respect to your third priority. So front of 3 is equal to 4. What does that mean? The priority queue which is having a priority 3, the front is pointing at location 4 and rear of 3 is equal to 5, means the priority queue which is having a priority 3, the rear is pointing at the location 5. See here. So this is your front and this is your rear. That is what he means to say exactly in this particular scenario. So whenever you're writing program, well, this will not be the format. You know, when you're writing program, this will be starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even you can start priority from rather than 1, you can give 0 also the highest priority. So 0 will have highest priority, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Remaining process is same the way you people used to execute your programs with respect to your matrices. I mean using 2-dimensional array. Okay, so how to insert an element? Now I wanted to insert an element here. So what I'm going to do, this is the previous one, whatever I've explained it in the previous one, that is the one I'm showing you. Now after inserting an element, what happened here? There is a small change. I want to insert an element R. I want to insert an element R and the priority of that element number I given as 3. So which one we have to consider? You know, this is the table, front of K. Now he has given the priority is 3. So front of 3 we have to see. Where is front of 3 pointing here? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your priority. So front of 3 is pointing at which location? 4. Then I have to find out rare of that particular location. I mean that priority. So rare is pointing at number 5. Means this is here. See, front ray. Now I wanted to insert a new element R into this particular queue, which is having a priority 3. Now you know that front is in this location. Rare is actually pointing to the maximum elements how many we can store. So rare is already present in this, but we do have empty spaces. And as I told you that we are using circular queue, what did I ask you to do? Rare will be pointed initially to 0. So rare will be coming to this location. Since I am representing here with 1, so here rare will be equal to 1. But when you're writing program, it will be 0. So rare will be equal to 0. So it will be coming here. And now you will be inserting that element. What is the element here? R. Since there is empty space available, you're writing. So see here. So this is your front rare and you have inserted here R. Now same way, when you're inserting the element, you need to update the table. So you need to update the table here. So you can see here, what is the table value we have here? Initially, what is the value we are having here with respect to 3? I mean front 4 5. But if you see here, this time the value has been changed because rare is right now pointing at which particular location after inserting an element? 1. So rare has become 1. Same thing, priority 1 2 3 4. So after updating the table, front of 3 is pointing to which particular location? So you can see it is 4. And rare of 3 is pointing to which particular location? That is 1. Why? Because rare we have made it as 1 and it has inserted the new element whatever we are having, that is R. So and it is pointing right now to which particular location is 1. Suppose I wanted to insert another element now. In case I want to insert another element with respect to the same priority, let us suppose Z, and the priority is 3. Now again you have to get the value. So this time you have to check this particular updated table. Front is pointing at which particular location? 4. Rare is pointing at 1. So rare should be incremented and rare will become rare plus plus means rare will become, or it will come to this particular location, that is 2. Second slot 3 2. And there I am going to insert the element Z. Same like a circular key. We are using circular key only for representing it, but only differences will be representing rather than a single dimension array. We are going to use a two-dimensional array in order to represent it. That is the only difference we do have. Remaining processes same. Okay, so I hope you people have understood this. Well, I think you people can understand it is somewhat complicated, right? Sorry. So it is a somewhat complicated thing. So that's the thing. What we are going to do is we'll be discussing priority queues with respect to linked list, because implementing using linked list is very, very easy. Very easy it is. You can see here. So this is the first code. This is entire code. I'm going to explain it here. So you know that first what I'm going to use here is stdio.h. You know better. That's a header file. mloc.h. So this is why we are using mloc here. So since we are using something called as concept called as linked list, we will be allocating nodes dynamically. The memory will be allocated to the nodes dynamically at runtime. So that's the reason we need to use a header file called mloc.h. Now, how to define the structure of a particular node? So here, within this linked list representation of a node, what did we say? There are three different blocks. One is a data block, one is a priority block, another one is a address block. Address block which represents with a pointer variable next, which points to the next block. So these three I'm representing here. So first is the data block, then priority, then next. Next means it consists of address of the next block. Now, initially start equal to null. Why that we are using a start pointer, right? I think you people know no, when we discussed about linked list, so it will be represented with start. The first node will be represented with the start. So start is equal to null. What does that mean? So there are no elements right now present. No new linked list has been created. No new linked list has been created. Now remaining process is same. There are two operations we are going to apply here. Insert, delete. You know how to write that. Struct node star insert, struct node star. So this is the representation of the different functions what we can use. Then finally we want to display the elements now. So for that I'm defining this particular method, void display, and within that we are representing with respect to node. So I'm writing struct node star. Now we'll go to the main part. Main part is very easy. You people are already familiar with linked list, then this is very easy. So int option. Now since we are defining different menus here, so definitely we need to choose an option. For that I'm using this integer variable option. And what are the different options I have been giving here? So this is a do while case statement I'm using here. So first option what we have is insertion, the second option is deletion, third option is display, and finally the fourth option is exit. And then finally you're giving enter your option. So among these four options, whichever option you wanted to use, you can give it. And that we are scanning it here. Scanf %t address of option. Then switch case. How many options we have here? One, two, three. Fourth one is an exit, right? This is not a method what we are using. So insertion, deletion, and display. So there are three cases here. So if you are selecting one, you'll be performing insertion. So how to perform it? Start equal to insert start. So automatically that my method will be executing it. Case 2 is related to deletion and case 3 is related to display. This we have already discussed in linked list. If you have any doubts on this, you people can join. I mean, go through the previous videos where we have discussed about linked list. The same options we have used here, but in a simpler manner. Okay, now this is the code with respect to inserting an element. This is the code we have to insert a particular element into a particular node, whatever you people are doing. Only thing you people have to keep in mind is this particular logic and this particular logic. I will be explaining it, don't worry. And after this, we have a deletion. See, the deletion operation is very easy. Hardly 4 lines of code we are having here. It's is pretty easy. Then we have the last but not the least display operation. Okay, so if you okay, I'm going to explain this using an example. So I will go to the dashboard part. Yeah, here is the program. Now please understand carefully. One by one, I'm going to explain it. You please understand this. So first thing what I'm going to do is first there are no options. There is no new node created. So initially, you know what is the start here? Start is equal to null. Remember this, okay? Initially start. Okay, I'll write it up here. Initially start is equal to null. It is pointing to this particular location. Okay, that's fine. That is coming from this. Now you will be displaying this option. So I'm selecting first insertion. I want to insert it. So so from here, whenever you're selecting the option, so this function will be executed. And from here, the code will be coming. The control will be coming to this particular location. And now we will be executing it int value comma priority. So there are two things we have to insert here. The linked list representation, you know, there are two things. One is data block priority address. So I need to insert two values here, data and priority. So here value and priority. Now struct node star pointer. So whenever I'm creating a new node, I'm going to use a pointer here. This p is used for other purposes. For traversing, I'm going to use this particular variable. Now how to allocate a memory to a new node, you know that. Pointer equal to struct node star malloc size of struct node. That's very easy. Already we have discussed it. So what will happen? It will automatically create a new node. It will automatically create a new node here. So enter the value for its priority. So what is the value I want to store here? Let us suppose the value I want to insert here is 10 and the priority for this particular value is 1. So what I'm going to use, so whenever you created a new node, what is the name of the node here? Pointer equal to malloc star, whatever we are doing here. See, pointer equal to struct node star malloc. So what does that mean? That new node has been created and the name of that node I'm giving is pointer. Let us suppose the address is 100. Let us suppose the address of this particular node is 100. Now what I'm doing in this step, pointer data equal to value. So pointer data equal to value in the sense the data block of this particular pointer, I'm inserting the value. What is the value here? 10. So I'm inserting the 10 here. Then I will be inserting the priority. How to insert is, you know that this particular node, whatever I'm showing here, this particular node can be referred using pointer. So pointer priority. So I gave you the priority now. So you might be wondering where this priority has come. We have already defined it, data priority next. So pointer priority equal to PRI. This is a variable and it consists of value 1. So that is inserted here. Okay. So finally we are successfully able to create a node and within that node we have inserted the data as well as the value. Now what he's saying here is we will check whether this is the first what we have to check, whether this is the first priority or not. I mean, first node or not, that we are going to determine here. So how we can determine, see here, if start is equal to null, and you know that initially what is the value of start here, null, this condition has been satisfied. But apart from that, we have one more condition. If priority is less than the start priority. So what is the priority we gave for a new value here? 1. 1 is less than start priority. So initial start is null, means that doesn't have any priority. So that is 1 minus 1. So both the conditions are failed, but here we are using OR operation. So if any one of the condition fails, okay, you can simply, if any, sorry, so if any one of the condition actually fails, automatically what you can do, you can come out of it. If any one of those thing, sorry, if any one of the condition is successful, then you can enter into this, because we are using OR operation. In DLD, you know now what are the OR operations we can perform: 1 0 0 1 0, sorry, 0 0 1 0 0 1, and we have 1 1. So OR operation means if any one of the condition is true, that will be true. So if both the conditions are false, output is false. Both the conditions are true, true. Any one of the condition is true, automatically you'll be getting the output as 1. Same concept we are actually implementing here. Same thing. So here what we are doing now, so while start equal to null, if you see here, this condition is satisfied. So we don't have to bother the next one, we'll enter into it. What I'm doing is pointer next equal to start. Initially, what is the value of start we have? Null. So what I'm writing is pointer next equal to start. Start consists of null. Since this is the first node we have created, we don't have anything here. I want to write null here. That's what I'm doing it. And after doing that, I should make, in linked list, whichever the new node we have created, the first node, that will be pointing to a start. So how we can do that? So start equal to pointer. So automatically start will be coming to this particular location. I hope you got it. Okay, so right now start is coming. So you people can just remove this pointer now. You can just remove this. So start is coming or pointing to this particular location right now here. Here is your start. So first node has been created. Now let us suppose now else part will not be executed and you will return the address of a start. What is start consist of? 100. You are simply returning it. Now this time start value is 100. Now you have selected second time the same option. What is that? Insertion. You are performing insertion now. You are performing insertion again now. So what will happen here? Again, you'll come back here. Now this time I want to insert the value 20 and the priority of this is 3. Okay, I want to give 3 here because I want to do in between part also I want to execute and show you. So for that purpose, I'm using this. So what is the value I want to store here? 20. And what is the output I will be getting here is the priority here is 3. I want to insert this particular node. So what is the first step? Create a node. So I have created a node. And you know the process. First data value 3 and what is, sorry, 20. And what is the priority here? 3. That I'm going to. Let us suppose the address of this particular node is 200 and it is referred with the variable called as pointer. Now we will again check the condition if start is equal to null. Now this time, what is the value of start we have? 100. So definitely it is not null. This condition fails. So you'll be coming out and you'll be coming to the else part. Now P equal to start. So when you're writing P equal to start here, means you're pointing the start with P. So here P comes. I'm using a variable P to refer the first node. Now we will check while pointer next not equal to null. So what is the next block? This is a P. P next. What is the next block? This is the next block. This is a data block. This is a priority. This is next. So what it exactly consists of? Null. But what is saying if P next not equal to null, but here P next is equal to null. So what happens here? This condition is failing here only. You'll be coming out of this while statement and you'll be coming to this particular location. What is that? So what I'm going to do, I need to add this. I need to provide a connection here like this. How can I provide it? So whatever the next block I'm having here, it should consist of address 200. Then a connection will be established. And this particular pointer node, here the next block should consist of null because we don't have any other node. So there are 2 points we need to write. First, I will be writing or making this as null. How to do that? So this particular node we are referring with pointer. So pointer next equal to, I want to write null. Where is the null is present here? Here now. So P is the one variable which is referring this node. Can I write like this? P next. So what is P next consist of? Null. So -1. That -1 I'm storing in pointer next. That is nothing but here. So that will be stored here. Now what is the next step I need to do? The address whichever is present here in the next block of P, that should consist of address 200. So how can I get it? P next. P is pointing to this node now. So P next block equal to, what is the address of this? 200, and this address is stored in which variable? PTR. So that PTR I'm writing it here. So automatically a connection is established, and here automatically this null value is been replaced with that particular address. So what is the address we have here? 200. Okay, so I will write it a little bit nearby because I want to explain the next part that is important here. So here what happened here now is, so a node is created here. The address is 200, and in this I'm storing the value 20, priority is 3, and this is null. Done. Now next, let's suppose I am taking one more time. So why I'm taking these many times is I am explaining you people all the logics that are there with respect to these things. First time, what we executed is if statement, this statement. Next time we executed this, but while statement we did not execute. So to explain this, I'm explaining, okay, I'm taking these many times insertion. So if you take here, let us suppose I want to take another node, same way. This time the value is 40 and the address is 4. Okay, 4 and 40. So what will happen? A new node is created that will be represented with a pointer. Address is something 300. Let us suppose you'll be checking if start equal to none. No, condition fail. Come to else part. P equal to start. So P is pointing to start. That is P is equal to 100. Now while pointer next not equal to null, this time condition is true. Have you seen this? This time condition is true. Now you have to check the pointer priority of this particular new node with the priority of the existing one. So pointer next priority is less than equal to priority or not. So P next priority is less than equal to PRI. So what is the value of PRI we have here? That is the priority of a new node 4. And I'm checking with what? Priority next priority. I mean P next priority. P is pointing to the first node. It's next. What is the address present in the next? 200. That will be coming to this node. And in this node, what is the value I'm having? That I'm checking. So in the priority block, what is the value I have? 3. 3 is less than equal to 4. Please understand this. This condition is true. Have you seen this? This condition is true. Please understand this. P next priority in the sense the P is pointing to the first node. P next means it will consist of address of the next node 200. So we will jump to the node which is having address 200. In that the priority block we are checking, that is 3. So 3 less than 4, condition true. So both the conditions are true. What is asking you to do? Traverse. So traverse in the set, go to the next one. P equal to P next. So when you are writing P equal to P next. So what is P next consist of here? 200. That 200 I'm storing in P. So what's happening here? This particular P is jumping to this particular node. And now again the while loop will be executed. While P next not equal to null, but this time P next is equal to null. You can see here. So what you have to do, simply come out of it. So this time this particular code is not going to work. You'll be coming out of the while loop and then you'll be executing this statement. Pointer next equal to P next. So pointer next equal to P next. What I'm doing? Where is pointer pointing here? To the new node. Pointer next block equal to P next. P next consists of what? Null. So that null I am writing it here. Then I have to provide a connection, establish a connection from here to here. So P next equal to pointer P, because this particular node has been referred with the variable P. So P next equal to, I just want to store the address 300. So pointer. So automatically what will happen? This 300 will be storing. This 300 will get stored at this particular location. Okay, I hope you people are getting it. This is the way how exactly this particular thing actually executes. It's very, very easy and very, very easy to represent. Okay, so just go through it, go through this particular part. Then we have something called deletion. Deletion is very easy. So what is the values we had here? 1, sorry, 10, 1, 200. And in this we had 23. This had something called 300. And this we had 44x. So this is your start. This is your something. This is a sorted order. Okay. This is 200. This is your 300. So when we are deleting it, very easy. You will be deleting from the front. Front in the sense wherever the starting position is there. So what is doing? I'm taking one pointer variable because once you are disconnecting that, that particular memory should be freed. So that is possible only when we refer it with some variable name. So for that I'm using pointer here. So if start is equal to null, simply you say that underflow because there are no elements. Else pointer equal to start. So I want to delete the first element, this one. So pointer equal to start in the sense what will happen? Pointer will be coming to this particular location. Now what I will do? So deleted element is pointer data. What is the data? We have 10. So I'm going to display that element. Next, what we have to do when you're so we are disconnected it. Now this start will be now you know that when you are disconnecting a particular node from a linked list, start should be referring to the next node, whatever is there. That is this one. How to get this start here? Simple. Start equal to start next. Start next. So initially start is pointing to this node. What is start next consists of 200. That 200 I'm assigning to start. So here the start will come. Now what we are doing, we have disconnected this particular node. But this node is referred using something called as pointer. Now whatever the memory is there, I need to free that. I think you people are familiar how to free the point. So free the memory to that particular node. So free pointer. So this will be removed. And now we are left only with two things here. 23 300 44x. Next time if you want to delete this particular node, first we need to detach it and then we have to free that. So this is the logic for that. Okay, so after this we have for displaying is also very easy. Just give me 2 minutes, I'll complete it. Same way, I'll be first using a pointer refer to a start. If a start is equal to null, simply say that queue is empty, else you will be displaying the elements. How? Well, you have already represented pointer with start. So pointer is pointing to the first node. This is your first node. This is your second node. So this is pointer. Now pointer not equal to null. Simply display until the pointer becomes null means you will be keep on traversing it. So until it is equal to null, you will keep on traversing the elements what you have and you'll display it. Printf the elements, pointer data and priority. So I'm displaying both the elements. So 10, 1. So I'll be displayed 10 and within bracket priority is equal to 1. Then I'll display 20, priority is equal to 3. Then I'll display 30, 40, priority is equal to 4. This is the way how I'm going to display using this particular logic. That is nothing but printf %d within bracket priority equal to %d. I'm using two different here %s, right? So that means first one is referring to the data. So this is 10. And the second one is priority. So pointer priority. First one is data now. So how to refer that? Pointer data. So this is the data block and this is your priority block. That is what we have used it here, right? Here. So whenever you want to display pointer data, whenever you want to display priority, pointer priority. So these two I'm using it here. And automatically it will display one by one all the elements that are present. See, this is one of the easiest program what we have. Only thing you people have to concentrate on insertion. There are three techniques, three different cases what we have discussed it. If you are familiar with this or if you get tuned to it, automatically it becomes very easy for you people to cover it up. Well, this is all what we have for today's session. With this, we have completed your queues concepts with respect to all the classifications what we have. Thank you. Thank you for watching.